Good morning, all. The last lecture, we completed our fourth module of Advanced Mechanics of Solids KTU batch. So, today we start with module 5, which is a small extension to what we have studied in module 4, first part, that means strain energy. So you should be aware of the terms that we have used in the topic strain energy, and also I am introducing some new terms regarding this topic. First of all, we'll see what is Hooke's law and principle of superposition. Okay, generally you know that Hooke's law is nothing but stress is proportional to strain, right? For an elastic body, the stress is directly proportional to strain. And you know that stress is proportional to force. Stress is equal to resisting force per area, right? And also strain is proportional to the elongation, DL, or the elongation or deformation happens. So as a result, you could say that the force is proportional to deformation or elongation, whatever it may be. Okay, so this is what this Hooke's law states. The law states that deflections are proportional to the forces which produce them. Okay, now if you consider an object with several forces, F1, F2, F3, F4, and some are point loads and some are supports. Okay, now if you consider only the force F1 here, which is acting at a point 1, and due to this force F1 in the same line of action at point 2, there is a displacement or elongation delta 2. Actually, the system is having multiple number of forces, and say the displacement caused is along this direction. Okay, due to all these forces, all these four forces, displacement is along this direction. That means D2. Say D2. Okay, this I have marked as D2. But due to the force at 1, there is a direct displacement which is in the line of action of force F1, that is delta 2. Okay, so due to that observation, we could write that what this Hooke's law state, deflections are proportional to forces which produce them. Okay, that means this deflection delta 2 is due to the force at point 1. So delta 2 is directly proportional to F1. Okay, clear? So here it is written that here a force F1 is applied at point 1 of a body in equilibrium, and in turn point 2 undergoes a displacement or a deflection which according to Hooke's law is proportional to F1. Okay, that means delta 2 is directly proportional to F1, and if you need to know the constant, it is called as A21, where A21 means it's an influence coefficient for a vertical displacement at point 2. So there is a vertical displacement at point 2 due to the force F1 at point 1. So 2 and 1 represents the points. Okay, so influence coefficients at a deflection at point 2 due to force at 1. This is what this suffix refers to. Okay, clear? So delta 2 is vertical component of deflection at point 2. A21 is a constant called influence coefficient for vertical deflection at point 2. Vertical deflection at point 2 first suffix due to forces applied at specific direction at point 1. that is the second suffix. Okay, clear? Now, what do you mean by principle of superposition? Principle of superposition states that if several forces are acting in the direction of F1, if several forces are acting in the direction of F1 applied simultaneously at point 1, so applied, say this is F1, then F2, F3, they are applied simultaneously at 2, will be the resultant of the deflections, which they would have produced if applied separately. That means if you have a body here and this is point 1, you are applying a force F1 initially, which makes a displacement delta 1. Again, in the same point, you apply another load F2. Okay, and that makes a little more deflection delta 2. And again F3, it will make delta 3 displacement. Okay, so similarly, if you are applying many loads simultaneously at each, say at time T1, T2, T3, etc. And this total deformation, that means delta 1 plus delta 2, or the total displacement is delta n, up to here, delta n. If suppose this is delta n is the total displacement, that will be same as when this force, that means the total force of F1 plus F2 plus etc. Fn applied at the same point, say this is Fn, the total force, which is a summation of F1, F2, F3, how many forces are there? Okay, then it causes a displacement delta n itself. Okay, that is what it shows. Okay, so if we apply Hooke's law to this corresponding displacement delta 1, delta 2, delta n, as I have discussed here, it causes delta 1, delta 2 up to delta n, caused by the applied forces and Rn, reaction at supports F1, F2, F3, etc. up to Fn. The displacement at point 1, say if there is another point 2, there also there are displacement. That means, see, you are applying a force at point 1, F1, and it causes a displacement delta 2. Again, if you apply a force F2 at another point, say 2, here it causes another displacement delta 2. And also in the same time, due to this F2, there will be a small displacement caused, which may be delta 1 dash or something like that. Okay, so at F1, there at point 1, there is a displacement caused due to the force F1 as well as force F2. That means at point 1, there is a displacement caused due to the force F1 at point 1 and then force F2 from point 2. Okay, this is what this equation tells. That means the total displacement at point 1. At point 1, the displacement will be due to the force F1. Its influence coefficient is A11. A11 means the displacement at point 1 due to force at point 1. Okay, displacement at point 1, this is point 1 due to force F1, that is delta 1. And also there is a displacement due to the force F2, that is having an influence coefficient of displacement, influence coefficient at point 1 due to force at point 2. Okay, and it goes on A13, F3, etc. Similarly, at delta 2, there will be an influence coefficient at point 2 due to the force at F1 into F1 plus A22, F2 plus A23, F3. It goes on like this. Okay, so be clear about this suffix. What does this means? Okay, So corresponding displacement delta 1, delta 2, etc. is called work absorbing component of displacement. Okay. So Aij means, that means A11 or A12, A13, whatever it may be. This is called as influence coefficient of displacement at ith point due to the load or force at jth point. Okay, understand? Okay. Now we will go for another relation that is called as reciprocal relation. It states that the influence coefficient at ith point due to load at jth point will be equal to the influence coefficient at jth point due to load at ith point. Once again I will tell and I'll write this equation. That means states that influence coefficient is A, right? At ith point due to load at jth point will be equal to the influence coefficient A at jth point due to load at ith point. Okay, this is A12 equal to A21 or A13 equal to A31, so on. Clear? This is what we understood from this reciprocal relation. Okay, so we'll see how we could derive this. Okay, so for that similar condition we consider an elastic body which is deformable, which is undergoing deformation due to application of load at various intervals as explained below. Okay, so consider a force F1 is acting at point 1 and it makes a displacement delta 1 in the direction of force. F1. Point 1 we consider displacement delta 1 in direction of F1, which is, this is very important, due to load F1. Okay. Then we could write delta 1 is equal to A11 F1, right? Now the strain energy due to this load is given by, strain energy is nothing but half into force into displacement. U1 is equal to 1 by 2 into force is F1 into delta 1 is the displacement. So instead of this displacement we will write this equation A11 F1. Okay, so U1 is 1 by 2 A11 F1 square, right? Clear? Now we consider another force at point 2 whose magnitude is F2. That makes a displacement delta 2. Okay, then what happens to, so at point 2 there is a displacement delta 2 which is equal to A22 F2. A22 means the influence coefficient which is happening in displacement at point 2 due to the force 2. Okay, so this gives A22 F2, right? Clear? Okay, then the strain energy at that point gives U2 is equal to 1 by 2 into F2 into delta 2. Delta 2 will be A22 F2. The U2 becomes 1 by 2 F2 square A22. Okay, now the application of F2, see, if the F2 is applied here, due to this force there will be a displacement happen here instead of delta 1. Okay, so here similarly if you consider that also, due to the force F2 there will be a small enlargement in the, or there will be a small elongation, and say that elongation is delta 1 dash. So at point 1 delta 1 dash, simply this delta 1 dash is equal to A12 F2. Why this comes here? The force which causes the delta 1 dash, the force which causes this displacement delta 1 dash is due to the force F2, right? And influence coefficient is written like this because influence coefficient at this displacement is causing at point 1, right? At point 1 due to the force which causes this displacement is due to the force at point 2, A12. Okay, clear? So the strain energy due to F2 at point 1, okay, is U1 dash is equal to 1 by 2 F1 into delta 1 dash. You substitute it, you will get 1 by 2 A12 F1 F2. Okay, so the total strain energy is U1 plus U2 plus U1 dash. This will give you this equation. So okay, so this is the first case. Now if we consider that the forces are applied in the reverse order, that means first we apply the force F2 at point 2 and then we apply the force F1 at point 1. Okay, so what happens? First of all, we will apply the total. If we do in either way, the total strain energy or the work done should be same. Okay, so we will calculate. First we are applying force F2 at point 2, which makes a displacement of delta 2. That means delta 2 is equal to A22 F2. A22 means influence coefficient due to displacement at point 2 due to force at 2, due to the force F2. Okay, then you will get U2 is equal to 1 by 2 A22 F2 square. Now we apply the force F1 that causes a displacement delta 1. So delta 1 is A11 F1 and the corresponding strain energy will be 1 by 2 A11 F1 square. Okay, now what happens here? Due to the force application at point 1, that is force F1, again there will be a small displacement delta 2 dash at point 2. Okay, at delta 2 dash will happen at point 2 due to this force F1. Okay, then we'll write delta 2 dash is equal to A21 foot F2. That means influence coefficient at displacement causing at point 2 due to the force 1. Okay, then the strain energy of that term becomes U2 dash is equal to 1 by 2 F1. F1 is the application of force is at point 1, that is F1, and the displacement is at point 2 delta 2 dash. U2 dash becomes A21 F1 F2. Okay, now the total strain energy on the body will become this one. We will equate this equation as well as this equation. These should be same because the strain energies are same. Okay, so if you equate these two terms, these terms cancel, and what we will get, A12 F1 F2 equal to A21 F1 F2, F1 F2 cancels, and A12 is equal to A21. That means Aij is equal to Aji. So this is called as reciprocal theorem. So this is very important, and these theorems are important to understand the concepts which we discuss in next class. So today we have discussed about Hooke's law and principle of superposition, reciprocal relation, in which the main term that we have discussed is called as influence coefficient. Okay, thank you.